Let's get back together.
Right. I'm trying to help you, and I want to. Okay.
All right, so we're gonna have the SDSs go first, and then we'll have a conversation around an agent and also county executives calling back PBs after that. So if one of you could volunteer to be the homeowner, just switch it up a little bit today.
Yeah.
We'll do two role plays, and then we'll just do feedback. Guys, if you guys could take notes too, what we usually do in this setting, just honest feedback. There's no hard feelings. We're all trying to make each other better. No reason to be embarrassed. And our analogy is that we give is, they've heard me give it 100 times, but like if you watch the movie Gladiator or like old school war movies, sometimes they practice with a wooden sword, and that's cool and all. They kind of dink around, and then sometimes they bring out the metal sword, and they do that because they got to be ready for real life, and so they're practicing like real life. And so what we try to do is practice as much like real life as possible. That way we actually get better and not just kind of going through the motions. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, but with that said, who wants to go first?
I'll be the homeowner.
Ready, John?
Sure.
All right. So this is the tough FISBO.
Yeah, this is the, I know what I'm doing.
I can do it on my own.
Yeah, I can do this.
I can do this totally on my own.
Yeah. And I feel like it's more of an ego thing than it is a.
Yeah, common sense thing.
Well, more than even a commission thing. I mean, the commission's probably there, but there's almost this, I do everything on my own and I can do this too.
Mhm.
You know.
Whenever you guys
Ready?
ready. Ring.
Hello?
Hi, I was looking for the property owner of 123 Main.
Yeah, I'm here.
Hi, this is John. Who am I speaking with?
Mark.
Mark. Mark, I saw your property on Zillow. I was just trying to find out if you'd sold it or if you're still taking offers.
No, it's still out there. You got an offer for me?
It's a great question. I prospect for properties to see what's available in your area. I don't know if you're aware, but we're kind of going through such a low inventory market that we're seeing 10-year highs on property values. And is the property still for sale by owner, or did you end up listing it with an agent I should talk to?
Yeah, I'm selling it completely on my own. Like, you got a buyer for me or?
I don't have a specific buyer right this second. I just kind of wanted to find out if the home was still available.
Well, what are we talking about then?
Well, in my company Advantage U, we work as a for sale by owner resource, Mark. What we do is we use our nationwide network to help you attract qualified buyers, but also to make sure that you're maximizing on your property value. And from what I saw online, Mark, I mean, it's an absolutely gorgeous home. I was kind of curious why you would even consider selling it.
I'm over it. I just want to get out.
Oh, you just want to get out of it?
Yeah, it's been here 10 years. I'm just selling it.
Oh, wow. Are you staying in the same area, or are you kind of trying to make a big move?
Staying, roughly within about 5-10 miles a year.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you a question, Mark. If you got the right offer tomorrow, I mean, do you already have another place you can go, or are you still looking for property?
No, I've pretty much got it dialed down to 2 places. Gonna put an offer on as soon as I figure this one out.
Oh, so as soon as you get this one sold, you're gonna put an offer on one of them?
Yep.
Okay.
So I don't understand what we're even talking about. Like, if you got a buyer, great.
Mhm.
If not, like, I don't know why we're talking.
So basically, I mean, at the end of the day, you want this property sold rather quickly, right? Because you want to be able to get one of these houses before they're gone, correct?
You know what? If I lose it, it's fine with me. I'm not,
Well, you're not too worried
yeah,
about
I'm
it.
not too worried about it. I have my eye on 2 things. But
Right.
I'm definitely not like in a rush to sell. Like,
Okay.
you know.
Okay. Well, Mark, I mean, what we do is we try to focus on helping people get their property sold, but also to make sure they're not losing money at closing on the property. What we've seen in your area, especially with the right amount of marketing and the right exposure for the property, we've been seeing people typically get around 10 to 15% above market that way because they're getting multiple offers. What we've seen with just doing it on Zillow, you're only hitting about 20% of the buying community. Because of that, people aren't getting the real offers that they could on their properties.
But you're kind of assuming, like, I'm definitely not just on Zillow. I have it on, I've got it in the local paper, I've got it in Craigslist, I've got it on, I think I saw it on Trulia. It's out there more than just one place. I mean,
Right.
I'm
You
not
got it
sitting on
online
it.
though,
Yeah.
is the point, right, okay.
Right.
Well, online is just 20% of the buying community, okay? And if you get it in front of 100% of the buying community, wouldn't you say that you have a better chance of getting the right kind of offers on your home?
Probably, but it'll sell anyway.
Right, okay. Well, I mean, if you could get more for your property though, wouldn't you at least wanna know about that?
I probably would.
Okay. Well then, Mark, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get this information over to my partner Precious. She's the specialist for your area, works directly with your local market, and she'll be able to show you what we've done for people in your situation in your area. And then at the end of the day, let you decide on whether you wanna continue on your own or if you think we'd be of any help to you. Do you have a second while I just introduce you to her?
No, you can never give me a call, I'm busy right now.
Oh, you're busy right now? Okay, cool. When's it usually better to reach you, like afternoons or mornings?
I got my cell phone on me, just have her call me tomorrow.
Have her call you tomorrow, okay. Well, I wanna definitely lock down a specific time so that she knows she's gonna get a hold of you, so I mean, around noon work for you?
Sure, she can try me that.
Okay, I'll have her give you a call tomorrow at noon, she'll do a little bit of research so that she can go over some stuff with you. For now, what I'm gonna do, Mark, is just send you an email with my contact info, hers, and some info about the company.
Yeah, I don't give them out my email.
Oh,
I
okay,
appreciate it.
no problem. Alright, well, we'll talk to you tomorrow at noon, Mark, I hope you have a great day.
Thank you. So I was just, on that one, I was just trying to give you, like, with the,
Oh, yeah, no, I
I
get
get
it.
that, like, it's so much of the day, I was just trying to give you the norm of that guy. Cause I get those guys that are just like, they won't set a time, they're like, I keep my cell phone, it's the same guy that you, a lot of times.
It's very
you'll be-
typical, it's
so
very typical.
Yeah.
So what were our thoughts?
I thought John rolled with the different things really well, actually, like, cause I was being, kinda quick, and kinda stopping them at intervals. I thought you rolled through them really well. I may have been a little, or at least I don't know if I would've, I don't know how well I would've done with that guy in that exact conversation. But I would've wanted to see a little bit less salesy at the end, cause you kinda had a little bit, you had that little bit of buy-in from me, and you were still like trying to play the, see if you still wanna stay for sale by owner or not. I almost like at that point want to, I don't do it perfect all the time at all, but I almost want to just let the agent or let the next person in the step, turn their mind over. I don't want to put it in their mind that we're trying to get them out of for sale, like completely out of for sale by owner until they
Right.
are in that conversation, because it almost raises their wall a little bit. But that's the only thing I would say. I thought it was great though.
Anybody else? All right. So, ready to give it a shot?
Yeah.
All right.
You want to go, Precious?
Yeah, alright. Ring ring,
Hi, I'm looking at, am I,
I'm sorry, I just said ring.
Jeez, okay. So, ring.
Hello,
Hello, I'm looking to speak with the property owner at 123 Main Street.
this is she.
Great, I was looking online at the property and I was just curious to see if you're sold yet or still taking offers on that property.
Why, what's up?
Oh, it's just, actually I'm a prospector for the area nearby and we're actually reaching 10-year highs in low inventory. So I was curious, are you still in the MLS or are you contracted with the agent I should talk to?
You're asking a lot of questions, what's going on? I'm selling the property, you can talk to me.
Okay, great. Now, just a little bit of information, my company, Advantage U, is a home seller's resource. It's a professional network to help sellers attract the right qualified buyer and get the maximum value out of your property. And just curious, it seems like a really beautiful property. What even made you consider selling it in the first place?
Cause I can.
Alrighty, and is there any specific places you wanna go to that you're selling your property for?
Fiji.
Fiji. Beautiful place out there.
It is.
What kind of water in Fiji? What's out there for you?
Well, I just, I'm at the point in my life where I just would love to vacation every day, and I'm thinking Fiji would be that place, so if I could get there sooner than later, but like I told you, I'm selling it, and, I don't think I need any help.
Oh, no problem. Fiji's a beautiful place. I can't wait to go there sometime on vacation myself. So ideally, if you were to get the right value and the right price for your property, you want to know about that to get your prospects a little bit more, 100% in front of the home buyers.
Possibly. Why are you, what can you do in reference to that?
Great question. So what I was saying before, I'm a prospector and I actually work with one of my trusted partners. She has a lot of information on the local area market that can help you get the maximum property for your value. So if you can give me just 1 second, I can actually connect you with her on the line right now.
I guess so.
Alrighty, perfect.
Not bad for your first.
No.
Yeah.
I like your tone of, like, for being as new as you are, your tone of pace is very good.
Oh,
So,
I was either I could
If it
freak
has-
out or take it like normal, so I was like, I'm gonna take the normal and not freak out.
yeah, absolutely. And, the biggest thing, especially when you're new, is focus on tone, pace, hesitation, modulation. And you definitely had that. And, I was waiting to see if you were actually gonna go for the transfer or if you were gonna keep going, and you did. You said, great question, you did go for the transfer, which was good. And that's kind of the advantage that you guys have, is that really is to pique the interest and then say, hey, that's great, talk to the director. One of the things I want to try to have us get in the habit of doing is, if you want to say partner, that's fine, but like, instead of calling them the regional specialist, just use the word regional director or the director. They're finding they're having a totally different light bulb go off when they just use that word director, and it gives you guys more authority than the term specialist for some reason. It's just a psychological thing. But they're director of that local area, something like that, or and just try it out and give feedback to see if you guys have the same experience instead of saying specialist.
Also, I forgot the name. Oops.
Yeah, it's okay. Yep, a couple things to stay away from is transfer, connect, introduce. Those things, you don't want to have an image like you're softballing them, like you're throwing a softball. So something like, they're actually sitting right next to me, I'm just gonna get them and bring them on the line, or something along those lines. So find something you feel comfortable with. Connect is better, but definitely don't use the word transfer. Let me transfer you over to them. Does that make sense? Because what does everyone hate in life when we call into like Verizon?
Put on
Verizon.
Verizon
You're
transfer.
gonna be passed off to someone else.
Yeah.
You want a one-stop shop.
What's worse?
What's that?
If you like this, hit 2.
Yeah.
That's go
Yeah, and then you hit 2 and it's like, sorry, I did not understand.
Yeah, exactly. And so we just don't want to set those emotional triggers that are annoying. And so conversations like, so what I'd actually like to do is get your question answered. I actually have one of the directors of in your local market right here. And so what I'd like to do is just put them on the line. And join them in on this conversation, something along those lines. Yeah.
I've been having a lot of success with Introduce.
Introduce is great. There you go.
My partner, Mark, is the director for your local area, knows all about your local market. Do you have a second while I introduce you to them?
Yep.
Because then it makes it seem like it's just a quick introduction call versus like the actual,
Yeah.
the conversation.
That's very strong.
John, I gotta say, I've really seen you grow into this over these last couple of weeks.
Oh, yeah.
Really have grown into this.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Round of applause for So, okay, guys, have a good day. And what's your goal today? What are you gonna go after? What are you gonna not leave today without?
I wanna go for like 10 PVLs.
Go for 10? Okay, that's a good goal. What are you, John?
Minimum 10,
Minimum 10?
hopefully like 12 or 15.
Okay,
It's been a slower week than normal. People just aren't picking up, but
okay.
hopefully we get there.
Awesome. That sounds good. If you guys get 10, usually that sets them up between all the other stuff to go that they got going on to get around 6 or 7, appointments. And that's where their mark has to be, so it's definitely a team effort for sure.
Absolutely.
All right, have a good day, guys. We're gonna say that, yeah, we're saying that.
What are you doing, George?
Yeah.
Sit down.
So what I'd like to do is practice the intro to the PVLs a little bit. And I think it'd be good for Jamie too, because you're calling on a lot of late age stuff. And there's definitely a lot of early age stuff there too, that I think might be a little bit more fruitful. to try. I know you guys are trying, calling on it too, but, one of the things Jamie and I were talking about yesterday is, some of the accounts, like EXP has a lot of PBLs, and, you only have so much time to call them back.
Well, not only that, but the PBLs, but some of the late age that Jamie's seeing in top producer, that's stuff that was in my original ILP account that was never transferred over. Some of it was in the old generic account that was never transferred over.
Yeah, so
It's stuff that I don't even, like, when I'm going through my current account,
you don't even
I
see
won't
it.
even see it, you know?
Okay, that's interesting.
So that's a tough part
Do
too.
you want us to get it over to you in your current account?
I would love it all in there, yeah. Like if John and I, cause John goes through it with me too. If we can have all that bank of stuff back in there, some of it is gonna be duplicates because we've already seen duplicates on current, stuff that we've set in this account. There's already been duplicates created and brought back into this account again.
Okay.
Meaning like, not even from the last account, like brand new stuff created.
Okay.
So like I called on a lead that we had an appointment on it, that we already knew, went with another agent and listed. I've had one that sold already,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm calling back the same person.
I
Like,
love it.
and they're like, Mark, like they remember me.
That's fun.
So I mean, it might, I don't know if it'll create some duplication, but if there's any way we can watch for that.
So Mark, how do you open up going into a PBL?
I call, like I open up like this. Hi, John?
Yeah.
John, this is Mark Hall with Advantage U. You spoke with, John in my office the other day, about your home yesterday, at 245 State Street. And he was telling me that, you were trying to get it sold in the next, 1 to 2 months. You've had it on the market about a month now yourself for sale by owner on Zillow. You haven't had any offers yet, but you've had a few walkthroughs. And I was just calling to see if we could help, Are you, have you contracted with an agent or put it on the MLS since you spoke with John?
No, I haven't.
Okay. And you put it on Zillow, it looks like about almost 30 days ago, right?
Yeah.
Okay, he said you had a couple walkthroughs. What was the feedback on those walkthroughs?
The feedback on the walkthroughs was, okay, we can stop there. So I want to just capture the beginning of it, because I think one of the things with the PBL is having a good transition, Jane. Like, because it kind of feels awkward. I don't know if you feel that way, like when I was doing it. Like, just having a good transition from the segueing of their conversation into our conversation,
Honestly, I haven't been using the reference to John at all.
Yeah,
Just because the ones that I've talked to are the older ones.
yeah.
I think I tried it a couple times in there,
Yeah, you
but
gotta be
people
careful.
didn't know, so I just said,
Yeah, I wasn't thinking older age.
yeah,
Older age.
but he's saying to call the new ones, so this is good,
Right.
you know what I mean?
But I think that the information's still pertinent. I feel like when I call older ones, they might not remember speaking to John, but the second I roll into something like, I get that you wouldn't remember the conversation, but when you last spoke with us, these are some of the things that were going on, that sticks out in their mind. They're like,
Yeah,
wow,
builds-
you guys remember
It
this.
builds
you know?
credibility that they remember the conversation.
Okay.
Yeah.
I bring up everything that's in the notes, and I actually say that I spoke to them. The last time that we had a conversation, Jamie, you had mentioned
Did you talk, you talked to him before?
Well, no, whether I spoke to them or not, the fact, I have whatever in front of me, so I just kind of go from there.
Yeah, we want to make sure it's clean, so I think if you want to say we, or you spoke to John, let's try to get this on paper from an agent's perspective.
Yeah.
I guess what we're trying to do. So, we could start from the beginning. Just go a little slower, Mark. So, how do you open up?
Hi, this is Mark. Hi, is John there? Or hi, sometimes I'll just go hi, John. too. We'll work that out. This is Mark with Advantage U. I'm just following up on your conversation with John in our office about 123 Main. when you spoke with him, you said that, I don't know, you know, these are the things that they've told us, so it gets different, I don't recall.
You can repeat the SDS name, say, John mentioned to me,
Yeah, John, I like to say you, like, there's times when I go in and say, John said, that they're like, that's not what I said, so I say, I try to keep that a little bit rough.
What if you said, it's my understanding
It's,
that?
yeah, I use terminology like that. I understand when you spoke with John, you guys talked about this, that, and I let them correct me a little bit, you know?
Or
Because
don't even say anything about John, just say, it's my understanding that, blah, 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 blah.
Right, yes, same thing, and especially for the older age.
Yeah, then you're just looking for clarification, you're not telling them, well, you said this.
Right.
You know?
and typically at the end of mine and the beginning of my intro, I'll ask them, does that sound about right at the end? And they'll-
Is that still the case?
Right, is it still the case?
You know, or has your situation changed at all? You know, the empathy.
So it's my understanding that,
Can we just talk about?
Then
the-
whatever
That's all the
Yeah.
The notes,
notes, PBL notes.
is that sound right? You know, and then towards the end, does that sound?
Yep.
Is that still the
It
way
sounds
it is,
about
or has
right.
anything changed,
Right.
you know? You just want, how you doing?
And then I'll roll right into, since you last spoke with us, did you contract with an agent or put it on the MLS? Sometimes I'll make that more assumptive.
Well, even if you say, is that still the case? Well, no, Mark, I listed the property with, okay, fine,
Right. And then
I got 10 more to go.
typically it comes out that,
Yeah.
yeah.
What I used to do is I like to say things like, you know, that's still the case. And if they say yes, pause a little bit, give them a chance to think, I'm doing the same thing I was doing before, I still have no results. You don't wanna say, how's that working for you? But you don't say that. Say, well, it might be time to talk about doing something different.
Yeah.
so have you had an offer or put it on the MLS or what you said?
I said, have you contracted with an agent or put it on the MLS since we last talked? Oh, and that's only because we have to,
No, but
In the
if they
script,
haven't
yes,
said
you can,
anything, if they haven't
right.
said, yeah, I'm pretty much doing the same thing, or, you know, it's good to confirm,
yeah,
yeah, absolutely.
yeah, let a little silence sit in there.
Yeah,
Just don't hammer them with,
No,
you're doing the
no.
same thing, insanity.
yeah, this is more of a warm conversation now,
Sure, yeah, it's
All right.
definitely is,
so it's a little it should be a little easier to get them to open up.
yeah, even the tough ones are a little less, I mean, the tough personalities
Mhm.
are a little bit more open
Yeah.
to some of them.
Then a
Yeah.
cold call.
Especially if they know what's going on in the marketplace,
Yeah.
and especially if somebody's house sold faster than theirs,
Mhm.
you know, who listed with an agent, you know, so they kind of know what's going on.
Yeah.
And all you're trying to do is make them realize, okay, is it time? It's time, you know?
Oh, you wanted an email with some info in it? Oh, okay, it should have gone out, so I apologize that it didn't.
And you get any knee-jerks there usually, or?
I actually don't get a ton of the PBLs, at least to there. You know, the knee jerks really come when I start pitching when I start pitching the agent, that's when the knee jerks come. If I get any, a lot of times I'm able to go through it, I don't really get a knee jerk until I actually get the real objection after asking for the appointment.
And I think you guys go right into, once you're talking about the pain and motivation, is that about right? Okay, are you, what, and then you go into the market, what's happening in the market, right?
Yeah.
That's your next go-to.
And I'll even try to get, especially with the for sale by owner, I'll try to get rid of an objection in that market talk, where I'm assuming, when they're asking for sale by owner, I'm assuming,
Yeah, your script there. or no?
well, PBL one. I'm assuming that you're not getting it in front of enough people, like frankly, the home's not seeing enough eyes. And I'm saying that in different verbiage, very close to that,
Mhm.
As I'm going, saying, you need to talk to this agent.
Mhm.
Okay, all right, well, I apologize, I asked a lot of questions, I'm just trying to see how we can help you. We'll follow up and we'll.
You must have just got, why are you asking all these questions?
Yeah, probably.
So it sounds like anyway.
Usually it'll be your schedule
that was the last one you printed out for me.
Yeah. This is probably wrong.
I mean, I pretty much, this is the one that I leave in front of me, the checklist for questions.
Yeah.
Because these are typically all for sale.
Okay.
All right, so let's talk about what questions we want to ask the for sale by owner, since we're kind of putting a framework in here for each of them. And I think we've had some good dialogue. So what are the top 3 questions that we want to ask a for sale by owner from this list? If we can't ask them all.
Yeah, that's pretty easy. The first one is, the very first one. Are you sure that all prospects are able to find your home easily? All prospects, all buyers, are you sure? How can I be sure?
Yeah.
These questions are meant for them to ask themselves, I'm doing this, am I doing this right? And the next one be, now, with your price, are you sure you've asked the highest possible price to attract most of the buyers? That doesn't make any sense to them. It makes a lot of sense to me, because there's a whole different buyer pool and a different price range, all right? So that would be the next one. And then the other ones is kind of like, basically, some of them are, okay, whatever, but where is it? I know you're advertising your property on Zillow, et cetera, but there's a lot of other things you can do at no cost to you. No, what are they? I wanna come over and tell you what they are, meaning, I do it, and you don't pay me. That's where the agent's gotta be able to explain your marketing plan. So, you can use the old saying, there's six factors that sell a home. Price, terms, condition, location, marketing, and the agent you choose. How many of these do you have in your favor?
That's good. What does that say again?
Dollars.
That's really good.
Yeah, slow down.
Right?
There's
There's
six
six factors that work to sell a home. Price, terms, condition, location, marketing, and the agent you choose. How many of these do you have in your favor?
Price, terms, condition,
Location,
location.
marketing, and the agent that you choose. How many of these do you have in your favor? But you need all six factors in order to sell your house at the highest possible price, shortest amount of time, least amount of inconvenience.
Say that last part again, it's the maximum price, shortest time.
You need all factors working together in order to sell your home for the highest possible price in the shortest amount of time with the least amount of inconvenience.
You need all 6 factors in place.
Working together,
Working together in order to sell your home for the highest amount.
highest possible price, shortest amount of time with the least amount of inconvenience. How many of these did you have in your favor? Do you have in your favor? What is that all about? You need to talk to somebody. You desperately need help. Did you get that?
No, I didn't.
Okay, I can say it 100 more times.
I'm not gonna write that in the script.
I don't blame you, no, do not, no.
I think that's something that you just, it's like a verbal advantage
Yep,
Yeah,
for sure.
situation.
yeah, that's definitely a bullet you want really packed away.
No, that's a grenade.
Well, yeah, that's totally.
That's a
Yeah,
grenade.
that's definitely a rocket one.
You should be able to, that to me is if I was in front of a for sale by owner, and trying to get them to understand, look, I can really help you, I just need a listing contract, I'm a performance-based individual, it's free until we close, you'll be happy when you close, blah, 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 and then I'll look them square in the eye, okay, let me say this to you. And then I would say that to them, say, how many of these do you have in your favor? And wait for their answer. Could take a minute. But 9 times out of 10, well, I'm not sure. That's why you need me. I am. You have none. Oh, excuse me, location.
Jamie, do you mind printing this? Print a couple copies of this.
Sure. Is that thing not printing?
And then I just haven't had the patience to figure out why, but we'll,
Yeah, you shoot it over.
yeah.
would you typically throw,
Copies.
oh, so you definitely throw that how many things
Just for you and I.
after
Two copies?
you need
And
the
we're
6
actually-
factors comment? You
Yeah,
throw
you
the
need,
how-
you need all 6 factors, all these 6 factors working together in order to do this and do this the right way.
Right, and, but then you would ask, how many of these do you have in your favor at the very end? That's like your close statement, right? Like
No,
your-
once I tell them what they are,
Right.
then I'll say, how many of these do you have in your favor?
No.
There's only 2 they may have, condition and location, that's it. They don't know anything about the terms.
Right.
Price, obviously it's not working for them. They don't have an agent, and they don't have a marketing plan. So they're usually gonna be 2 out of 6 they're gonna have. You need all 6 working together. And that's what we gotta teach in conversion,
Yeah.
because that's a face-to-face.
Yep.
And I'll bet money, there's none of them that have said that in their life, because that's mine.
They don't even know how to say it.
Well, you know, it's a powerful sentence, because it's like, wow.
I got one agent that I feel like definitely needs to talk to you. Suzanne Sanchez in Denver.
Well, Isaiah and I were talking about these agents, after they go through Mike, we're gonna chat with them together.
10 to 11, we got a time block.
Yeah, which we want a time block.
She,
If you can- What's that?
go ahead.
If you can get her on the phone, we'll do some coaching with her.
I talked to 2 for sale, well, I should say for sale by owner and expired, where she walked in and told them, I don't think you should be asking that price, I think you should be asking this. And I'm not automatically putting the pushback on her, because I know the for sale by owners might be full of it, and the expired, because they're kind of know-it-alls, right? But what they told me was that on the follow-up call after the appointment was good, they were like, she told me that she could only get this, and the one for sale owner was like, my home sold at a higher price within days of talking with her, like at a considerable amount of money.
You get some agents that wanna hit them low all the time just to move them,
Right,
you know, but they need to be coached.
right.
They're letting the seller sell it on their own, or someone else is gonna list it at a higher price, sell it, make the money.
Right.
I mean, you know, sometimes you gotta get them to a point where they're happy with the price, you've agreed on that price, starting price, but show them your marketing plan, because let the buying public tell us, if I've convinced you I can reach 100% of the buying public, part of my marketing plan is we gotta start to adjust the price, not lower it, adjust it.
So, you could talk about price, conditions, exposure. Or 5.
No, there's 6, there's price, terms, condition. You can use exposure, but it's marketing. Location. And the agent you choose. Is that 6, price, terms, condition, price, terms, condition, marketing, location, and the agent you choose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
You set it as a future opportunity, you can pick whatever type you wanna call it. And then if you click on, click this folder icon, remember where you're looking at the search bar. So, then you get call back right here, when you start sending future drops, select it, show up right there.
Yeah, but I would ask them, you know, and let's say something to them like, you know, all these factors working together is what gets your house sold in the for the highest possible price, shortest amount of time, with the least amount of inconvenience to you, Mr. Seller. All working together. And also tell them too is that, you know, with all that said, you know, that's why with the agent you choose, the agent takes all that and factors it into their program, their plan.
Mhm.
And that's how come agents sell houses so fast.
Sure.
Yep.
right, let me give it a shot, see how it sounds, and then Jamie, if you wanna give it a shot after.
Sure.
See how it sounds to you. Ring?
You calling me?
Sorry. Yep.
Hello.
Hello, Ron?
Yes, Ron.
Hey, Ron, this is Isaiah with EXP. I was following up on a conversation that you had with John from my office, and he actually, it's my understanding that he told me that you're trying to sell on your own, and you have another house picked out, but you need to sell this one first. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. Have you by chance contracted with an agent or listed on the MLS since last we talked?
No, Isaiah, I'm still trying to do this myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Ron, as you know, there's a really high demand and low inventory, and it's a really phenomenal time to sell. And I just had a couple quick questions for you, Ron. One of the things I was curious about is like if you did get an offer in the next 30 to 60 days, actually he already knows that.
Mhm.
So he already knows that too. Okay, so all right. So yeah, one of my questions is how long has it been on the market yet, Ron?
Well, but I've been about 4 weeks now.
Okay, it's been about 4 weeks. Okay, and have you had any acceptable offers or anything along those lines?
No, not yet. Had a lot of people walking through though.
Okay. Curious, Ron, are you sure that the prospects are able to find your home easily?
Oh, I hope so. I mean, they must. I got a sign outside, I got it on Zillow, I got it on, whatever.
Okay, yeah, I'm just curious, because in a couple of weeks, if you haven't had an offer yet, it's kind of unusual for this market, and I'm just wondering if you've actually asked the highest asking price to attract the right buyers. So it seems like a nice property. What made you want to sell it in the first place?
No, because of the market. I heard the market's so great.
Okay, yeah, the market is great. The market is great.
I'm not feeling it.
Yeah, right. Well, here's the thing, if there was a way to make the numbers work on this transaction, you could move on to the property that you kind of have targeted and picked out, that'd be a conversation that would make sense to have, right?
Yeah, maybe not. I'm not sure. I don't know. Maybe a week, 4 weeks is not long enough. I don't know.
Yeah, so I think, maybe your plan, Ron, is gonna work just fine, but what I'd like to do is stop by and go over some alternative marketing plans to get more exposure to the property, and what I've done for hundreds of for-sale owners like yourself to help you get it sold for less hassle and a quicker time, and also to make sure you're maximizing the property value of the home. So what time works so I could come out like later today around 7 o'clock?
Isaiah, I appreciate your time and everything, but it's really, I don't want to pay a commission. I just, I should be able to do this myself. I just really don't want to pay a commission.
Yeah, it sounds like you're trying to net the most you can on the property, and you're thinking that paying a commission is gonna help you do that? So
Well, yeah, I mean, you're talking,
Or not paying a commission.
6% of my house, that's $6,000. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, absolutely. And I totally respect where you're coming from, Ron, but let me ask you, if the numbers worked and you were able to net the number you needed, regardless of the commission, does it really matter how the home gets sold?
Well, would I have to ask more money for my house just to pay the commission?
Well, that's a good question, and that's why I want to come over and actually just preview the property and like just give you a second opinion on maybe why the house hasn't got an offer yet, and then what you do with that is totally up to you. Okay, so I'll be over. I can come over around like 6 o'clock tonight, or would like tomorrow morning work better?
6 o'clock will work good tonight.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good. Now remember, I'm not paying anything and I'm not signing anything.
Yeah, here's the thing, I'm not gonna come over with a sign underneath my yard, or, a sign underneath my arm. I'm not gonna come over with a sign underneath my arm, Ron, and ask you to do anything if the numbers don't make sense. And it's gotta make sense for both of us, that's fair, right?
Yeah, that's good, just as long as they don't have any high expectations.
Yeah, I don't have any expectations, except for to see if I can help you get your home sold. Fair enough?
Okay,
Okay.
All right.
All right,
that was an easy conversation.
yeah. So I think it flowed okay.
I like what you said, and what you choose to do with that information is completely up to you.
Right.
I'm gonna give you some help.
Non-threatening, never
Non-threatening.
felt threatened, never put me on the defense, never argued with me, never made me uncomfortable.
That kept the
Conversation
garbage way down, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
We can work on getting our better verbal advantage for transition. I think getting better verbal advantage on paper when we're transitioning in our closing cycle, because that usually makes all the difference in the world. Because you can give a great tie down, But if you're transitioned and there's not good verbal advantage, that's there when you're transitioning to your appointment, and like you said, it's like that guard can go back up.
It's a weaker
Yeah.
side.
Yeah.
You're also, you're sending the guard up and it's a weak side out.
And I was glad you didn't use those 6 factors. Now you've got them for your appointment.
Right,
And you can look them square in the eye and say
Yeah.
that to them.
and I might use that for like the second cycle
Yeah.
on the phone or
Yeah.
third cycle, like if
Yeah.
I'm not getting anywhere.
If you're not getting anywhere, that's then bring up, make them think.
Yeah.
It just, make them think what they're doing. And it's not working for you.
And from our standpoint, from calling, from our ground, I feel like plan being them second and only using it if we get the plan. Like if we don't get a good plan B and get the appointment out of, hey, what's your plan B if this doesn't get sold?
Yeah, the plan B is for the, especially because he's been on the market for a couple weeks, so what's the plan B? Well, I'm just gonna stay here.
Yeah. Also, that works with great expireds too.
Yeah.
You know, your house didn't sell, do you have any idea why it didn't sell?
Mhm.
Oh, no, my agent didn't do anything. Well, there's 6 factors that contribute to the sale of your home. What are they? How many did you have in your favor?
Right.
Oh, maybe it was the agent I chose. I'm not that agent. So you got one more in your favor.
All right,
Wanna give it a shot?
of course.
All right.
You gonna read?
It's the only way you get better.
Yeah.
I need help. All right, so, can I just do one without the PBL? I think the PBL intro, I mean, I can say, I can reference the notes and all that kind of stuff.
It just looks more powerful, you're gonna have a lot better luck getting through if you get used to it, but if you
So
don't,
like where I make
but if you don't want
analogy.
to today, that's totally
Yeah,
fine.
can I,
Yeah.
let me work on
Yeah,
that.
work on it.
I just wanna call Ron.
Okay, how are you calling me? Where did I come from? How
So
did find
you
me?
are a PBL,
Okay.
but you're someone that's been in there for like 3 weeks, and I'm assuming you probably don't remember talking to John. But I know your name,
Okay,
and I've checked the MLS myself to see if you
Yeah.
missed it.
right.
Okay?
Yeah.
So, okay, ring.
Hello,
How can I speak to Ron, please?
this is him.
Hi, Ron. My name is Jamie Forte. I was actually calling about your home at 123 Main Street. Is it still available?
Yeah,
It is. Oh, great.
Jim, you got a buyer?
You know, actually, I may have a buyer, Ron. I'm not sure. But I was calling just to ask you if you were able to get an acceptable offer in the next 30 to 60 days. If you have a home picked out, where you would go next.
No, I have a plan, yes.
You do?
Yep.
Okay, very good. So is that plan to stay locally, or is it to go, out of the area, or?
Well, I'm gonna stick around here, I'm not going anywhere far, but,
I don't know what it is, doesn't it seem evasive?
What,
You guys-
Maybe just that quick without rapport.
Yeah, like,
It's
it just
really,
seems really
it flows really well later on in the conversation,
Yeah.
it's fine.
Yeah,
I've been hearing that,
yeah.
you know what I mean, so that's why I'm doing that.
Yeah.
So how can we do that better?
Right. I think you just tell why you're calling from before you start asking the questions.
So get into that approach now.
And I would knock out like a couple of the things, even if you kept it real, like, if you even went more broad with it than the notes that John had, so you don't get real detailed, so you don't get some pushback, like, no, I didn't tell him that, if you keep it really broad and be like,
Well, he's not even bringing up the notes.
right, that's what I mean, like, the notes actually help, without saying, you talked to John and you said
well,
this.
yeah, why don't you
Maybe
ask me
like the
how I
last,
feel about how it's gone so far?
I was gonna get there.
Yeah.
But
I
I
don't
just,
know what it is, I'm just trying to,
yeah,
I'm just trying
I was
to.
gonna get there.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, so let's try something different.
Okay.
So.
Pretty good thing.
Ring.
Hello,
Hey, can I speak to Ron?
this is him. You again?
It's me again, Ron.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, Ron, I was just calling about your house at 123 State Street. Is it still available?
It sure is.
Okay, great.
Jim, you got a buyer?
It's possible that I have a buyer, Ron. Actually, the reason I was calling you was because I wanted to just see how it was going so far. How long have you had it on the market?
4 weeks?
4 weeks. Okay, great. Have you got any acceptable offers?
No, not yet.
No acceptable
No,
offers?
it's still available.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, the reason I was calling is because I'm with the Dream Team at EXP, and we specialize in helping individuals like you who are trying to sell on their own to attract the right buyer.
So you're an agent?
I am an agent,
Oh,
and we have several unique value propositions geared towards for sale by owners to help you get your home sold fast and for the highest possible price. So really, the reason I was calling, Ron, was to see if you'd be open to having a brief discovery meeting. I'd like to just take a look at your property and explain to you about how we do what we do and show you what we've done for others to see if it makes sense if we can help you.
Well, I don't wanna pay a commission, Jamie.
I completely understand, Ron. Let me ask a quick question. How did you choose to price your home?
What do you mean, how did I choose it?
How did you price your home?
Well, I looked at Zillow, they did a market analysis for me.
Okay, gotcha. Well, let me ask you, Ron, if there was a way that I could help you net what you need to net out of the property in the fastest amount of time with the least amount of hassle, that'd be a conversation worth having, right?
I don't know how you're gonna do that and not get a commission.
You know, honestly, I'm not sure if I can do that at this point. That's why I wanna have a brief discovery meeting with you to determine if that's something we can work out. But if the numbers all lined up and I can help you remove the hassle off your plate, get the home sold fast and enable you to net what you wanna net, that'd be worth a 5-minute conversation, right?
Yeah, it might be.
Okay, great. So I'm available today at 4 o'clock or 6 o'clock. Which one of those times
That
works out for
sounded
you?
so much better.
Yeah.
That sounded.
Yeah, I was all ready to let you come over.
That sounded awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think what happens if you, with a person, when you get that knee jerk very, very quickly, it just, one thing I heard is the second you said, let me just tell you why I'm calling, or the reason why I'm calling.
Yeah.
It kind of like eased my mind when I was listening, like it was like, and then you asked a couple more questions and then you got right into the appointment. And sometimes you got a Columbo after the appointment, like, oh, hey, not a problem, like they give you like not a problem, ask a couple more questions and then go for a tie down, you know, so.
So the question I started with
Yeah.
was, I asked him what's available, and
Yep.
then I said, okay, well,
Yep.
you know, how's it going? You know, how long has it been on the market? You know
Yep.
what I mean? Have you gotten any offers on it? No, you haven't? Oh, okay, well, let me tell you why I'm calling.
Yep.
Yeah, you didn't bring up the market, you didn't tell me I was screwed up and all, you told me.
Just planted the seed,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
and then you went right for the
But
appointment.
then he objected,
Yep.
and I asked him a couple more questions, so maybe that's the.
It was perfect, it was
Yeah.
perfect. Yep. That's exactly how it should flow.
Okay.
So you got, and that's the difference between like having the context of the script and like when we talk about building rapport, qualifying, creating desire, sometimes it happens in different orders
Yeah.
because of just the way the conversation flows.
So it's so funny
It just
because
can't, yeah, it's.
my mind, I'm a logical thinker. So if you show me 7 steps.
Yeah, yeah.
You could have.
Very
rigid, you're very rigid.
I
You show me 7 steps, I go like this, okay. Let's see how these work.
So that makes sense, so it's
Yeah.
not always in sequential order.
Correct.
See,
They're guidelines,
See-
you can adjust these to your
I
personality.
was an engineer, Ron.
I
You
know, and a good one at that. A good one at
So
that.
A plus B equals C.
But you
Yeah.
sound so smooth. when
Oh,
you-
yeah, you
that-
sound confident.
Yeah, like that, your tone and your pace, it's very trustworthy, it's very, I don't know the word, you don't sound salesy.
He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
Like you sound credible.
Thank you.
Big time, like when you talk to people in general, you automatically, you have that instant credibility,
Yeah.
that instant, like, I can trust what this guy's talking to me about. You know?
I used to think that when you would talk on Monday Mindset, I'd be like, he seems very trustworthy.
Oh,
Yeah.
Good.
So why don't we try it one more time? Just
All right, yeah.
Yeah.
So, ring ring.
Hello,
Hi, can I speak to Ron, please?
this is him.
Hi, Ron. My name is Jamie Forte. I was actually calling about your home at 123 State Street. Is it still available?
Yeah, are you a buyer?
Actually, Ron, I'm not a buyer, but I was just wondering, are you still trying to sell it?
Yeah,
You are? Okay, great. Let me ask you, how's it going? How long have you had it on the market?
4 weeks.
So
4
my
weeks?
guard went up again, because I don't know why, he's gonna start thinking, what is this guy calling for if he's not a buyer?
Okay.
So
So
he
as soon as
said,
I get the buyer question.
yeah, let me just tell you
So
why.
why I'm calling.
Yeah,
Got it, okay. Let's try again. Ring ring.
Hello,
Hi, can I speak to Ron, please?
this is him.
Hi, Ron. My name's Jamie Forte. I was actually calling about your home at 123 Main Street. Is it still available?
It is, are you a buyer?
Actually, Ron, I'm not a buyer, but let me tell you why I'm calling. I'm actually with the Dream Team at EXP, and we specialize in helping individuals like yourself that are trying to sell on their own to attract the right buyer. We've got several unique value propositions geared towards those that are selling on their own to help you sell fast and for the highest possible price. I was just calling to see if I should just go right into the
Yeah.
appointment. I was calling to see if you'd be open to having a brief discovery meeting with me, just to come by, take a look at your property, show you what we've done for others and see if we might be able to help you.
Are you an agent, Jim?
I am an agent.
Oh,
actually.
I'm not paying a commission.
Oh, no. I understand. You're probably getting a lot of calls from agents, aren't you?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. Well, let me ask you a question. How did you price your home?
I did through Zillow, I saw they have a thing you can click on.
Okay, so Zillow is where you got your info
Yeah,
from?
basically, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he raised it a little bit, but.
Are you sure, just real quick, Ron, are you sure that you're asking the maximum possible price for your property?
I think so.
You think so? Okay. Well, that's, what I'd like to do is actually come by and just take a look at it, do a brief market analysis for you, and just help you with that. Maybe there's an opportunity for me to give you some info that would enable you to get more for the property. And at the end of the day, if I was able to help you to net what you want to net, and with removing the hassle off your plate, you know, and selling the home quickly, that'd be a conversation worth having.
Yeah, it might be, Jamie, but I really don't wanna pay a commission. You know, I know you got, you know, you guys all have to get paid.
Right, yeah, no, absolutely, and you know, honestly, Ron, I'm not sure if I can help you yet. I really would just need to see the property, but at the end of the day, you probably have a number you wanna walk away from the transaction with, right?
Oh, sure.
Okay, so we call that the net, and so if, at the end of the day, I can help you net what you wanna net out of this property and get it sold faster, remove the hassle off your plate, that'd be worth talking about, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I would talk.
Okay, yeah, so that's all I wanna do.
I'm
is
not
talk.
gonna sign nothing.
I get it, believe me, I'm not coming over to list your home, I just wanna take a look at it, give you some information, what you choose to do with that from that point is up to you. But, I'm available at 4 o'clock today, or 6 o'clock, do either of those times, or which one of those times work better for you?
No, I'll do 4.
4 o'clock, okay, very good, awesome, put the coffee in there.
That was great.
Bring us up.
That was really,
Bring us up for the
that was
coffee.
really, really good. Yeah. So I think, and I think it's one of the things that even as ISAs, you have trouble with is sometimes we're just afraid to get to the point and ask for the appointment. And,
Like, am I going too fast,
yeah, because
you know?
they actually appreciate it. They don't, like, the average person just doesn't want to hop over with questions, like, get to the point what you want.
Mhm.
And so, but there's other times that they'll answer the questions and you just flow with the questions until you feel like it's the right time to ask for the appointment.
Yeah,
And so, but usually like with an aggressive personality that I'm just getting a lot of objections right up front, a lot of knee jerks, I'm just going for the appointment because the quicker I can get into my cycle, then it gives me an opportunity to get back to my questions.
Right.
And that's kind of what you did.
you'd rather be asking questions to handle the objections.
Yes, exactly.
Than to try to get to the point where there's gonna be an
That's right.
right?
That's
So,
right.
I get it.
Because I can ask all the questions in the world, but if I ask all my questions up front before, because I know I'm most likely, no matter how many questions I ask or get through, I'm gonna get an objection.
Let me tell you why I was a little not
Yeah.
sure about that, because of the whole building rapport thing.
Yeah.
But it's not that we're not building rapport, it's just you're building rapport along the way, is
Yes.
what you're saying.
Yes.
In my mind, I'm thinking, I gotta build all the rapport,
Right,
then I can ask for, you know what I
Right.
mean? But it's
Yep.
like, go for it,
that's right.
and then handle the rapport building as you're asking the questions and conversing.
Yeah. For some personalities, you might build rapport just by getting to the point. They might like,
Right.
it's
right.
like, or you might, look to what you were saying, you might find more common ground later on, like as you're going through, so.
And if you're getting a lot of objections, you can say to them something like, look, obviously you have a lot of questions or concerns. I wanna deal with every one of these while we're sitting together. I can show you things, I'll bring my calculator, I'll bring, you know, documents that you might wanna see, etc., whatever the case may be. And I'm happy to do that, and I'll answer every question you have, I'll stay there as long as you want me to, or as short as you want me to.
I like that.
This way they go, okay, yeah, why are we doing this not like this? Let's do it together.
And then there's other personalities that if you go too quick, they get a little bit weird. you
Yeah.
know? So.
Weird.
But the tougher ones, like you were saying, like some of the tougher guys or tougher women.
Yeah.
They're, they appreciate and that you get rapport out of them by asking them for that appointment
Yep,
faster. And I wouldn't even say it's only on a time thing. They're seeing your, like, lack of a better term, your cojones.
Yeah.
And that whole thing. They're like,
Yep.
wow, this guy's a little brash, you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
they
But
respect
they're
it.
like, wow,
Because
it's like our, it's like
that's
our
their
old,
personality.
it's like our,
That's how they
it
are.
was like our old Boston, we had a Boston close I was telling you about,
Yeah.
and I don't wanna say it in front of the camera, but we had a Boston close, which was a joke, which was when they would get in our face on the phone, we would like jokingly get in their face back, like, whatever, like, they're like, screw you, we're like, yeah, you know, and it was a joking way to gain rapport,
Yeah.
because they're like, man, I like this guy, and I feel like
Mhm.
with somebody that's being tough with you, they're almost like, man, this guy's serious, like,
Yeah.
this guy didn't play games,
Yeah, right.
you know?
You might be able to represent me well. too.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That was a good session,
All right,
guys.
that's really
That
good.
was
These
really
trainings are so good.
Yeah.
I mean, the only way I get better at anything is just doing it.
Yeah.
Doing it, you know what I mean? And so it's a great place to.
We all
Figure
learn
it out.
something every time and we
Yeah.
make our process better, you know.
Yeah.
All right, have a good day, guys. Cool.
Make money.
Yep.